Hello there and welcome back to the Modern Stacker. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a comment that I recently received that said, I can't afford gold. I can barely afford any silver. And I just wanted to unpack that statement. And because right now I know that economically we're definitely in some harder times than we've been in the past. And while there have been some redefinitions on, whether or not we're in a financial recession, we are. We definitely have been seeing that there is more financial pressures and challenges in life. But I want to encourage you, and while I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just a dude on YouTube who likes to talk about shiny things. I want to encourage you that this is totally within the realm of possibility, and it doesn't really matter where you're coming from. If you can find a way to scrounge away a little bit of silver here and there, whether it's an ounce of silver or even just a 90% constitutional quarter or a mercury dime or something, it doesn't even have to be big. It can be small. Little by little, this all adds up. And, if you're able to squirrel away, let's say, an ounce of silver once a week, I mean, spot price is currently at 24,407 at the, as of the filming, which is August 31st. If you were to buy an ounce at, an ounce of silver at this price with the premium associated with it, let's just say you got a generic round for like $26, $27 an ounce. If you were able to get 1 ounce, let's say per week, that it adds up to 52 ounces within the year, or 104 ounces over 2 years. That's a lot of silver. In fact, that's more silver than most of the world has, which is shocking to say that, but that's the truth. I'll post a link in the description below to a video of one of the YouTubers who I've watched in the past who actually discussed this, and he really put together some interesting perspectives of where you are in terms of like your stacking score. And I might have a similar conversation in the future, but for right now, my point is that if you stay consistent and develop habits for stacking, you can accumulate quite a bit of silver and even gold just through the process of being consistent. Consistency is key. So if you are in a paycheck, it's just like when you go through in your budget, your expenses for utilities or your mortgage or your rent or whatever, you allocate all those expenses out. If you do the same for your silver purchase as well, eventually you'll end up with a nice little stack of silver. And that's how you get there little by little. And if you have a windfall, sometimes fast by fast. And that's really those are the happy days that you can, get to, when it's nice to be able to splurge on it and enjoy some of that luxury. But the truth of the matter is that these races typically aren't won by sprinting. They're won by pacing yourself. This is how you run a marathon. And that's, stacking is no different. You run things at a pace, marathons, so that way you don't overexert yourself and then have to, dive into your stack to basically pay the bills because you overspent. Murphy happens, and that's what you have to account for. But anyway, I'm digressing. So the reason I wanted to talk about that, unpack that. So silver is achievable, but is gold achievable? I mean, that's the next question is like, how do I achieve gold? Gold is currently set at the price of, $1,939 an ounce. That's a lot. I don't care who you are. That's a lot of money. I mean, that's for most people, that's their entire paycheck. And that's a real thing. And even if you go over to, a company like SD Bullion or Monument Metals or APMEX or any of the places where you go to buy this stuff, I mean, these things aren't cheap, right? I mean, if we go with especially we go for the American Silver Eagles, there is some advantages to being able to do like half ounces or quarter ounces and 10th ounces. So you can get, things at a smaller price. Like this is 234, well, actually it's 253 in the, time of filming this. But the point here is that this is only 1/10 of an ounce, and there's a lot of premium associated with this, whereas an ounce has a lower premium but a higher price. So, how do you get there? Well, here's a strategy that I would like to just share with you. Let me know in the comments below if this is something that you've done yourself. But One of the strategies that I personally have is just to focus exclusively on silver. Focus exclusively on silver. Build your stack in the silver thing. Again, not financial advice. YouTuber, shiny things. But then there's this thing called the gold to silver ratio. Now, I've talked about this in previous videos, but if you haven't taken a look at it, the gold to silver ratio talks about how many ounces of silver it takes to purchase 1 ounce of gold. And you can see it's very volatile. It goes up, it goes down. And if we to close this ad and zoom back to all time, you can see it can get very volatile. So back in 2010 and 11, when we had that, when silver had that massive jump up in price, it got down to the point where, what is this, 32? 32 ounces of silver could buy 1 ounce of gold. That's amazing. And here we are, we're coming off of kind of the all-time high. I mean, if you look about where we are in kind of like the average, like if we're just to draw a line, you know, kind of just like as an average through this, this is high. I mean, this the GSR continues to go up, but what we've been, if you've been listening to other channels, the GSR is being inflated because silver is being suppressed. Silver is supposed to be going up in value, but the markets are not letting it happen. So because the markets aren't letting it happen, this is why people like Greg Manarino and, you know, Lynette Zhang and everybody are saying that silver is the most undervalued asset in the history of the world, because it is being suppressed, and you can see it. You can even just look at the GSR to see it. You look at the Dow to silver ratio. It's like you can see, but through the charts, that this is being completely blown out of proportion. And every time it starts to try to make a correction, it's like it gets pushed back. So if you're stacking silver right now, all you're doing is stacking to your favor for the fact that eventually this has the potential to correct, you know, level out. And when that levels out, maybe it'll be down here, maybe it'll be down here. I really don't know. I mean, that's what for the experts and the, you know, smarter people than me to talk about. But the punchline is that if you're dealing with kind of an average here, you can kind of see that what we're doing here is we're seeing the price going up and down. Anyway, I'm rambling. The point that I'm getting at is that if you end up focusing, if you just focus on stacking silver, ignore all my squiggles. If you just focus on stacking silver, which is much easier and much more cost effective to acquire at this time in history, then when you go into the gold to silver ratio, if you see an opportunity where it dips down, you could just trade it in if you want, or you can hold on to it, which is what a lot of us are doing, and wait for the ratio to get reset down to the value which it's supposed to get reset to. And when that happens, there's going to be a lot of people who make a lot of wealth. I mean, that's the idea. That's what a lot of people are banking on. So I don't know how it's all going to shake out. You know, I don't have a crystal ball, and maybe if you do, let me know in the comments below what you think is going to happen. But I wanted to share this strategy for you. If you are feeling like you're kind of short on gold, and you're feeling like, you know, I really just need to, you know, have a little bit more in the stack, well, just focus on silver. It's much more accessible, and it has the greatest, you know, chance of going up. So just focus on the silver bit, and then, you know, what you end up, when you have an opportunity, if you feel like you need to expose yourself a little more to gold, then just trade some silver in and get some gold. But use it get it on the swing down. Watch for the swings, and it looks like we're on a swing down right now. So, you know, keep an eye on that. This might be a good time to, you know, trade it in. If you're feeling underexposed. Otherwise, if you're willing to just hold on to it, you might be in for a nice little ride coming up here pretty soon. So anyway, I hope you got something out of this video. I'll end it on that. But yeah, you can afford gold if you're patient, and you can afford silver if you're persistent. So patient, persistent, 2 P's for you to think on. And in the meantime, hit the like button and consider subscribing, because I appreciate you, and I hope to see you back here again. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next time. Keep on stacking.